Hi, this is David Schultz with L&D Construction. We're out on one of our latest projects. This is an accessory dwelling unit over in the Lower Highlands neighborhood, 34th and Navajo. We wanted to highlight this project especially because it's one of the first projects that we're doing prefab off-site. They're already built. We're supposed to actually set it on Monday, this coming Monday, but the weather's looking pretty bad for a few days. We're going to set this on the 4th of November, and we'll have some video to show you kind of how that goes. Right now what I want to do is just kind of talk about the site and then also how it's different from what we've been doing a little bit. One of the biggest things about Lower Highlands especially is that it's a really old neighborhood. We've got a lot of weird power situations. Power line that's above us right now is really old and it extends onto the property a few feet, and so this accessory dwelling unit itself has actually, the roof is very close to these wires up here, so we actually had to adjust the design kind of midstream to make sure we're not too close to those, not only from the building standpoint but from the crane. Another interesting thing here is that we have this garage set up here and it's all concrete, and then half of the house accessory dwelling unit actually extends out over here, so this will be a parking area under here, and then we got big beams that extend out over. So it's really unique in a lot of ways. We've got the power lines to contend with, a really busy street in front where we're going to fly them from, and then just a very kind of eclectic design that's posed some challenges as well. So one of the big challenges on this site and with a lot of the sites we deal with is generally we don't get a really comprehensive survey in terms of how the grades are. So right when we got onto the site we realized that we had to end up doing a bunch more retaining walls. So we got retaining walls on both sides which weren't in the original plan. So we ended up having to kind of adjust this whole thing. The survey they actually gave us was 9 inches difference, and on this one specifically that just wasn't taken into account, so we really had to adjust this. What we're doing really here today and tomorrow is just getting ready for our panels. So we're setting all of our sill plates, making sure the concrete is square. We got a couple beams in here to do. On Monday they're going to fly the 2 pieces of steel in here that will actually hold our floor that sits above. We've got our water and sewer here. That will actually get pushed over into there's kind of a utility closet there. And then this will just be the garage, and they've chosen on this to also do a garage that faces to the back so they can kind of open it for entertaining. You get to use this space sort of to set up for entertaining, and then it's connected to the outside. So I think one of the interesting things here is we talked a lot about some of the issues that we have. We knew that this would be very challenging from a geometry standpoint, the road, the power lines, where this house is at, all of those things were going to be challenging, but it helps us solve a lot of problems because at L&D especially, we want to move towards a more standard product. To do that, we really think that this offsite construction is the way to go. So if we can produce cheaper in the factory, then we can deliver a better, faster, and cheaper product on site eventually.
Here at the EBA Summit. It's a national conference. Excited to see over the next couple of days what we can learn.
So we're day 2 at the EBA conference here in Denver, and yesterday kind of the primary events that or classes that I went to, sessions were kind of more high level, what should we be doing as an industry in terms of indoor air quality, energy efficiency. Today, this first session of the day was about prefabricated housing and how that integrates with zero energy and energy efficiency and indoor air quality and those types of things. And so that was really apropos and interesting to what we're doing with L&D and Simple Homes. So another session I'm going to today is around specifically how do we start addressing indoor air quality as we tighten up these buildings and make them more energy efficient. We inherently get into this problem of bad indoor air quality, and so how do we address that, from ERVs to different other technology ventilation strategies. So we're excited to kind of getting there and see what they have to say. I'm off to our next session on indoor air quality. We'll check in again tomorrow and kind of give you a recap of the entire event. So we're out here on the Godsey Arvada project, and this is a ranch style ADU out in Arvada. And we've got a new toy here. It's the Stabila LA 180L, and the guys over at Awesome Framers are really big fans of it. So essentially what we use this for is to take a known point, a known line that the surveyor sets. We work off that to square our building. This is a really straightforward, one level square box, really easy to do. So we're basically lasering down onto a known point here. Then we have a known point there that the surveyor set, and then on the other end, we string a line between it, we measure off, and then now we're lasering our first point. Also check the elevation. So often the surveyors don't shoot any internal elevations, and so it makes for usually having to do a bit of adjustment to make sure that the building is sitting correctly from a height standpoint for drainage primarily. We've got actually two known points now. So we're square. This wall here on the south side is now square to our property line here. So now that we have that square point, we can now go ahead and just square up the rest of the building. And then we'll also use this same setup, not only for the kind of survey phase, but once the guys get their form set up, we'll come back out with this and recheck it, make sure everything's nice and square. And then once we're ready to set our sill plates, we'll go ahead and bring this back out again, square everything up, chalk our lines, check our elevations again, make sure we're good. Once the sill plates are set, then we'll fly in our wall assembly off in building. Yep. So we are just wrapping up the final sessions of EBA Summit 2019. I think the thing that I really focused on this year primarily was around indoor air quality and HVAC systems, more particularly, and how that interacts with indoor air quality. We're starting to build houses collectively, and us specifically, to a much tighter standard, and so we just need to make sure that we're handling the indoor air quality properly. And these types of events always help bring some clarity to what we're doing, but also add some additional levels of complexity and different components. So it's definitely a learning process, and we'll continue to analyze different systems. But I think these types of summits are just great for getting really smart people in the same place to talk about these issues and where the industry is going and how we manage it now, but how we ultimately do a better job moving forward. So we're going to take all this knowledge back to what we're doing, not only in the factory, but in the field, and make sure that we're using best practices right now for our properties and monitoring properly, and really trying to manage the energy efficiency with the indoor air quality. So how was it? All right. Good? All right, see ya.
Hey guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
Yeah, thanks for following us this week at the EBA Conference Summit 2019. Obviously, we appreciate everybody watching our videos, and we'll continue to update you on other things that we learn and the process as we move through different houses, and especially as we come up on the manufacturing side and some of the changes that we're experiencing at L&D and what that ultimately means for a quality and a quality control. And and ultimately, what does that mean for livability for our clients in the buildings? How do the buildings function moving forward? So we're excited to usher this into 2020, so keep following along. Thanks for following.
Awesome.
Hey, good morning.
Can y'all see me?
Yep.
Good.
Adam, you gotta get in there.
How are you guys?
Good, how are you doing?